Aren't you tired of talking heads just talking? Black Gumma Entertainment is vowing to change the industry. We podcast with a purpose and our shows have goals. If you want to help make a change, then come join the Black Gumma family. Together, we make a difference.
Blerd's doing that voice.
I don't know what this was. Am I rolling with the homies?
Yeah, bro, it's rolling with the homies, man.
Keep rolling. What is Fred Durst doing?
Shit, man, he was just at the party I was at, man.
And we are currently live. Welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of Blerd's Eyeview. I'm your host, Chris G. With me is our co-host, Brandy Blocker, and Darius DC Chambers, or I could be wrong. I could be
Chet fucking Deuster House, bro.
Chet fucking Deuster House.
Party like a fucking rock star, bro.
And our Black Queen. And if you have not noticed, I am your agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury. I may just go by my other moniker, Chris Fury. What the hell? Hey, that just might be the thing. It might not even be Chris G anymore. It might just be Chris Fury from now on. To hell with everybody else is saying.
Out, bro.
There you go.
Yeah. Protect the cock that's out though. Please wrap that.
Right.
Cock.
Yeah.
So how's
Put a mask on it.
How's everybody doing for this whole Halloween night episode of Blerd's Eyeview? How's everybody going?
Oh, bro, I just partied with Fred Durst and Christina Milian and Lindsay Lohan, and she did a line of blow off of fucking.
Was this a 90s character?
I was literally blasting Dip It Low today, and that song is a bop. So that's hilarious that you said her.
Yeah, she was there, bro. She looks hot. Fucking.
She still looks good.
God.
I don't know who she sacrificed, but she still looks amazing.
And Fred Durst of all
Fred
people.
Durst, man, he has a fucking hat.
Wait a minute, was LFO there?
Was LFO?
I think they were. Blink 8182 were on the microphone, man. It was rocking it with Limp Bizkit, you know.
Okay.
Little Beastie Boys was there. Mikey Day. It was a fucking rager, bro.
Oh my god. I'm looking for Zac Efron to show up at this
point.
No,
but Zach Morris trash ass was there.
No, you leave Zac Efron out of it. He's cool now. Zac Efron's actually cool now.
Zach Morris was there, man. He tried shit, man.
Speaking of Zach Morris, have you guys seen the Saved by the Bell reboot trailer for Peacock?
Yeah, I finally watched it now that I know Lisa Turtle is going to be on it, because at first I was not interested.
I wondered where she was at.
I'm wanting that, but then she had posted about it and she looks good. So I don't know what hair and makeup got to her, but they did a good job because our girl was looking crazy for a minute. And I'm like, girl, you was fine. So I don't know what's been going on. And I know she was bipolar. Well, probably is struggling with that. But I'm like, you can be bipolar all day. Don't have your looks be bipolar. You
can't have two halves of the same whole looking crazy.
As harsh as that is, but you're working in a harsh business, so we need you to look the part and be dependable. So I'm happy.
Hey, you only sister in the crowd. You
sister, so you know I was
got to represent. This is Lisa Turtle we talking about.
I watched Zach Morris be some trash. More so.
Trashy. I was actually up for that fucking part, but you know.
Oh my god!
Give
us your best Zach Morris, like breaking the fourth wall. Give us that.
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm trash.
That's it. It's genius.
Nailed it. Fucking nailed it, bro.
They basically, the premise of this one is everybody, Zach and Kelly are married. We know that already, but Zach is also the governor of that part of California. Is anybody surprised that Zach Morris is a politician? Like, when you look back of all the stuff he did, you're just like, politician. It fits. I'm like,
and you don't have real friends. You used all your friends. I didn't realize how bad it was at the time until I started following that page. Zach Morris is trash, and when they just say it like he says it, I'm like, oh my god. We watch how many seasons?
So if Zach Morris is a politician, wouldn't that make Ferris Bueller like a vice president then? Maybe a president.
All the way back.
Wasn't he just as shady?
No, here's the thing. I feel like with him, he was still somehow more likable and charming than Zach. I never liked Zach. We tolerated, but I didn't like him. I didn't want to hang out with him. It's like
he had a good side, but it was because people like Kelly and Slater.
Yeah, he would have to be guilted into being like, you guys are right. As he has his like thumbs in his pockets. You guys are right. I shouldn't have
with
blah,
the
blah, blah.
stone wash jeans.
Yeah, and I'm like, nigga,
Fucking
you've been acting like
trash
this for like
ass.
3 years. You don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, I mean, Ferris Bueller, let's face it, a lot of people like myself kind of modeled how I was getting out of school behind Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Just did.
Twins.
I tried to clammy hands and everything else. I'm like, I want that stereo system he's got. That's just
Not tried to claim me in. I was definitely like more of a Scooby Gang. I was like, I'm going to have a crew like this, and it's going to be just like it is in Sunnydale.
oh man.
Then you realize as a Blerd, you don't run into a lot of your own sometimes. And I'm happy I'm a part of a Blerd community now because I did not have this like that in high school.
Oh, you and me both.
Like you were in a group. So I'm with my singers or I'm on the dance team, but it wasn't like this. So
in the comfortable setting. You know, that's gonna be a show
like
we're gonna talk about.
all.
Being a Blerd in today's society. That's gonna be a show. That's gonna be a show.
A whole topic. That's a whole
That's a whole topic.
Trump
right
just
there.
texted me Kofifi. I don't know what the fuck that means.
That's actually
I got coffee. I ain't got no
Nah, it's
Kofifi.
Kofifi, bro.
Still
I
don't know
what
what
it
the fuck that
means,
is.
dude. It's like fucking wild, bro. It's so crazy.
So it's so crazy. In some other news, I don't know if you've seen it, Darius. Netflix announced they were going to do an Assassin's Creed live action
Yeah, I've seen
with
that.
who?
with Netflix.
No,
I think
mean,
after
like, with who? Do
oh,
they have
they're
They're still
still
looking.
yeah, they're still in looking. They haven't even gotten a showrunner yet. They're
Okay.
still in
'Cause
they're
I'm
still in
like,
the beginning.
Who's doing it?
Yeah. I mean, I think after the success of
McAvoy
The
or
Witcher,
Stewart.
The Witcher's too good. Shut up.
the stories I could tell about that behind the scenes we know what happened after we mentioned MBJ last week. So
I mean,
so I can just imagine if I mentioned
that he busts out in his armor.
yeah.
Child, I'm like, listen, that has to probably be like the exception to my blacks only rule.
Brandy's laying down with
that.
Clark Kent, so whatever. She's gonna
Oh,
she's gonna make it work. So
I would have to make it work.
oh god, it would have to make it work. They're doing a Power Rangers reboot, but now the movie that they're going to do is going to tie into the new shows that they're going to do. So obviously they have some kind of deal worked out. It was a lot of dust up going on with, who was it? Saban, and they had a lot of issues going on. I think they were getting ready to lose the rights or something. And so now they're going to tie, but wasn't that, with the exception of the last film that just came out, isn't that what they did before? Like,
Pretty much.
they used the same squad from the shows that they used for the
yeah.
movies. I
I felt like that's
but
how
the movies
should've
never
been.
mirrored the shows, so to say.
that's true. They're like, I get what you're saying. It's the same thing that happened with the Transformers animated
Oh god.
film. It's the same thing.
God.
Like, I remember, plus that was the saddest weekend of my childhood. Like, kids, like, they went on a Saturday or Friday
And never came back.
and that whole weekend, like, kids wasn't outside playing. They didn't come
Nah,
outside.
you have to.
That was you talking about dealing
breathing
with
period.
yeah, that was and then come Monday morning, they showing the animated show, and I'm like, wait, Optimus is alive? What the fuck just happened? So
Gotcha.
so yeah, I get what you're saying, where the movie for the Power Rangers films, they didn't really mirror the show. Like, they didn't make a reference.
But it was like, oh hey, we just got this new kid.
Yeah.
Let's
They didn't
go.
really they didn't make,
in my opinion, when they got that right squad, and I watched other stuff, especially with forcing my little one to get into it when he was younger. I just feel like the chemistry and everything else will never be the same as it was with the OGs. And you really cared about what was going on with them. And it was an easy transition to have them go from regular putty fighting to going to Ivan Ooze on the big screen. That was a seamless transition to me. Even though when I watch it now, I'm like, we were really into this shit. And there's an awful part. There are people falling that ain't get hit. There's like, you can see strings. It's bad, but I'm still into it.
Ivan Ooze was selling that lean. We don't know what the
That
hell.
good lead, bro. I'm
He's
talking about
selling
that
lead.
stuff, man.
And then when you think about it, I rewatched it with my son when he was like 11 or 12. And I was like, yo, he was really going to make all the parents commit suicide. I'm like, when you're older, you looking back
Murder
like, that's deep as
suicide.
That
hell.
shit
But
was dark.
like, it was so dark. I'm like, Why
didn't think about it?
That?
Oh my
so
god!
I feel like
because we all secretly wanted that to happen.
We wanted our parents to their face.
Build these fucking animals and jump.
And jump.
Oh my god!
Jump. But I don't know. I guess it could work. We'll see. I don't know any of the new crew. I haven't really been following it. Since they went like
apparently they had a. I think they had a thing either this weekend or maybe it was this week. He was, and I missed it. I'll track it down.
Jason.
Like,
sorry, it was.
Well, Jason's
like
Jason.
A statue.
Stop it. Stop fat shaming.
I'm just
look. As long as we got the team back together, I'm gonna have to check it out. Like on.
I don't know if Tommy was
the team. I'm good. Aisha was there.
No, Tommy.
What? No, Aisha. Just Tommy.
I think Tommy and Jason.
Well,
I mean, they had some of the old uniforms, but I'm not sure how recent this thing was.
Aisha ain't there. Come on now.
Hey, now that's
after Trini. After Trini, the only other Yellow Ranger we cared about was Aisha. That was
flat
it.
out. I couldn't
the
even
yellow one I cared about was Aisha. I didn't really.
Aisha came on the scene. I was like, "Who's the bitch in the
thick?"
I'm excited.
With 3 C's.
And you know what? Now that we're talking about that again, rewatching it also had me bugging at that fine girl that was like in the Amazon that had no clothes on.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "What was I watching?" Because now that we're older, I'm like, "She had no clothes on."
She had on tit leaves.
Yeah,
that's
man.
it.
My God.
It was like, you gotta be out here to find yourself. And I'm looking like,
oh, she found herself a couple times that day.
And I think a lot of us did at that point.
Right. It is that moment.
In some really sad news. We lost 2 greats today. We lost gospel singer Rance Allen, and we lost our James Bond, Sean Connery, at the age of 90.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Sean Connery, 90 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking amazing.
Did anybody know that he was literally 10 years older, maybe 10 to 12 years older than Harrison Ford, and he played his father in the 3rd Indiana Jones film? That's crazy.
That's weird.
That's gotta be really.
Talk about a mind fuck. Like,
oh my god,
who?
How am I playing his father?
They did that weird casting with like Angelina Jolie as Colin Farrell's mom when they did that movie, and I was like, Alexander.
What?
Wait a minute.
Oh, Alexander, yeah.
That was
fucking weird.
They did the same thing with Justin Timberlake in the movie he did with In Time.
Out of Time, or no, it's Out of Time. That's
Denzel. Out of Time is Denzel. His was In Time, and like the mother was what
Olivia something.
Britney Spears.
No, it was Olivia. It was Olivia.
I would have remembered that.
and it was just like
that would have been crazy though.
I remember them describing the movie and like, yeah, and she's playing his mother. I'm like, oh, okay, because she has those really piercing, pretty eyes and everything. And I'm like, oh, they must be throwing her in makeup. And then you see the film, you're like,
nope.
Yeah, you see them run to each other at the same speed, and I'm like, your mom.
It's like
she's a MILF.
Like. It was like, and you're like the same. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, it was really weird.
That was hard to swallow one. That was a hard one to swallow.
That's what she said.
That just Chad came from a party where it was hard to
swallow. Yeah, bro. It was man, I can tell you about the one room in the never mind. We're on TV.
in the latest drama saga that is Justice League. I don't know what's going on with Ray Fisher. Now, for those who don't know, Ray Fisher is the guy who plays Cyborg in the Justice League film. And he's always said that there was some issues going on behind the scenes with Joss Whedon and some other things. And it was never really specified as to what. And I don't think he could say at the time because it was under investigation. But recent reports just came out that said that Ray Fisher stated that Joss Whedon wanted to lighten his character, lighten the skin tone of
CGI, bro.
Yeah, and
all the black characters.
The original article they showed had a picture of Ray Fisher in the cyborg look, and then they had Kiersey Clemons who plays Iris West, but that it was a scene that's cut out. And I'm thinking like, well, as I read the article, I was like, what does Kiersey Clemons have to do with anything? And I don't know. I don't know how true this is. I don't know.
That's why I tagged you in it just to get your opinion.
It's
weird. I don't know how I feel because some stuff I'm decisive in being like, this kind of sounds like it would be real. You know what I mean? And then other stuff, I'm like,
and and you and me, Brandy, we're like Joss Whedonites, and we're just kind of like, okay.
That's how I was apprehensive because I was like, I'm not.
He wanted to whitewash everybody. I'm against it.
Yeah, I'm like, is it true that's what he wanted, or is it him being like, upset because we don't
like a Ellen situation where I feel like maybe Ellen didn't directly do something, but people under you did, and you're held responsible
because you're the figurehead.
Nah, Ellen did that shit. She be playing y'all. She be getting her dancing shoes on in front of the camera, and she a slave driver behind the scenes. There's always the weird looking ones that you gotta watch.
Not the weird looking ones.
Well, see,
like
now,
an elf on a shelf.
Now, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned the Ellen one because Brandy, I was listening to you guys on the Triangle, and y'all talked about the Ellen situation with how she gave that apology, but it was kind of
apology was weird.
Yeah, it was like she tried to joke it off. I don't know if that was her way of trying to.
Because I'm like, you're so used to joking, and you should have pulled a Letterman in that moment. Because when Letterman had his cheating scandal come up, all right, starting the show, serious moment. This is what happened. Yeah. And there was no jokey joke about it. There was no trying to weasel out of that moment. And
he got in front of it and he shut it down. And
and that was it.
You didn't hear anything else about it. Like
Joe didn't. And now he's still doing his show his way. So
yeah. Amazing. Wow. If all the things we have to deal with in 2020. Hold on, let me do this because this is gonna kill me.
He's gonna switch the eye patch again.
Switch the eye patch. I'm gonna switch to my glasses.
Oh,
I love how you do have a Clark Kent Superman situation going on because you do, in my opinion, look different without your glasses.
I tell people that actually works. I was really shocked. Like that actually works.
Right, exactly. Who's this guy?
Because you know what, I wear scrubs.
Where did Chris go?
Where's Chris?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Like I wear scrubs at work, and now that everybody's wearing masks, all you see is people's eyes. And unless you see them all the time, you don't know what they really look like. So when you see them, they're like, they might recognize you or something, but then you see them like, yeah, who are you?
Who the fuck
now I recognize your voice because I don't recognize your face. So that is so weird. That is so weird. They're doing a Hellraiser TV series.
Interesting.
Yes, and Clive Barker has been attached as an executive producer.
I like him.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that.
It's his baby.
Okay.
So why not? That means he has some kind of say. To kind of keep an eye on things. It's good. I mean, sometimes it's good to have that. And something else that's being thought of or been brought up as being made into a TV series, Misha Green, who is the showrunner for Lovecraft Country, has expressed interest in doing a It television series, but it's based more on the origin of Pennywise and how everything came about. Which, if you've not just seen the films but read the book as well, you kind of want to know. You kind of, I mean, she obviously, and it's Jordan Peele produced. All right, yeah, it should,
now.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then speaking about
ride that out, man.
Yeah, and then speaking of Jordan Peele, he is being touted as wanting to do a remake of People Under the Stairs.
Yeah, I just read that, and that's fucking amazing.
Now,
and do a good job.
We talk about how Black people being the lead in horror films and everything else. And this was probably one of those few times, it was in the early 90s.
It was a black kid.
It was a black kid who pulled the stunt off.
That movie's fucking underrated.
It really is. And it's a Wes Craven film. It's a Wes Craven film. And
like Ving Rhames was in that movie, like a young, early Ving Rhames.
Like they called
Jody Mama.
Yeah. Everybody thought he was Jim Carrey.
I thought it was
because he did look like Jim Carrey.
It'll be interesting to see how this is cast for both of those. And I think with just the pull that she's gotten now from Lovecraft Country, and then what's crazy is we haven't even seen what she can really be able to touch now with the success of Lovecraft Country, because what they're seeing now is just because of the people that just watched it. It's really cool to see people a year or two from now get into something that came out, and then there's this whole new resurgence of this person is the shit, or this genre is everything, and we need more of this. So I'm excited to see what she does in the next 5 years with the access she's going to be able to have to stuff. Because a woman and a woman of color being able to tell stories like this is going to be huge for the cast, for the crew.
Yeah, and pulling all types of weight with this. That's
listen, because I'm not like a scary.
She's only like 35,
person, but she's young.
Yeah,
she's right there on the cusp of greatness. Well, I think she already passed.
I mean, that means she's been in the game.
Like Lovecraft Country, you've done your job, ma'am. If you don't ever do anything else,
because she did Underground. She was one of the writers for Underground.
And old girl,
and Sons of Anarchy.
Juicy's little sister was there. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Juicy.
Juicy who?
Juicy Smouye.
Oh, that guy. I party with him too.
So she's worked with Journey before on Underground. So obviously she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
So
I think she got the trust of all the actors and actresses to really
that just knows what she's doing. She's been on the shows that Misha Green has been on have been great shows. Like I mentioned, she was on Sons of Anarchy, which she wrote us a couple episodes for them. She wrote stuff for Underground, and now she's a showrunner. When you're the showrunner, that is heavy weight. That's heavy weight to pull, because all of that is on your back.
Especially when it's something that's male dominated and not
yeah.
So that's a big deal.
So it's great to see her in that capacity. That's fun stuff. Something premiered yesterday that I had the opportunity of watching for twice already.
Okay.
I watched the first episode of the second season of The Mandalorian.
I haven't got into that, and I have Disney Plus, and I haven't got into it yet.
Yeah, I have Disney Plus and never watched it.
And everybody loves it. I haven't heard anything bad.
It's very well written. Jon Favreau is behind this entire thing. Good. He's behind this, and the team that he's picked to help, run this show, Dave Filoni, who is a major Star Wars fan. When you talk about how the current the movie series have been ran, you see the aesthetic is different, and especially in the last 3 films, and you either love them or you hate them. You either love the films or you hate them, and you have some really hardcore fans who just like, I hate the last 3. I hate the last 3. And when they give their reasons why they hate the last 3, I understand, like we talked about last week with John Boyega, kind of trashing his character, thinking it was going to go somewhere, giving Daisy Ridley like a kind of a trash background. You really didn't flesh it wasn't what everybody thought it was going to be.
I feel like both of them, that could have been a lot better had the script been better.
Yeah, you changed directors. You started with one director, then by that 8th one, you changed it, and then you went back to the first one on the 9th. It was weird. It's weird, and it shows. And it was like you could tell that like Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams did not collaborate at all. You could tell. It just shows. And I mean, I can understand. They're great films to watch. Don't get me wrong.
Well, visually stunning, yeah, I'll give that.
Yeah, they're great films to watch.
They're visually stunning.
Yeah,
listen.
I mean, there's some like moments in those films that you're just like, okay, that was good.
Oh, that one scene where they were all fighting those red guards, that shit went hard.
Yeah, that was an amazing fight scene. That scene was crazy. The emotional scene was when you find that when Chewbacca finds out that General Leia passed.
That was sad.
And like it was just like, wow, like you've never seen that character break down. He broke down, like fell to his knees, and you kind of felt that. You're just like, damn, everybody he knows is dying around him because his kind lived for a very long time. So now to see his best friend / brother gets killed by his nephew, so to speak.
Yeah, that was so much.
And he couldn't.
I was like, why couldn't we just go to counseling? Why couldn't we bring in Iamla to fix y'all life? Because it didn't even have to.
Right. Like, I mean, he watched his nephew kill his own father, and like, because let's face it, Kylo Ren is Chewbacca's nephew. It's that, yeah, not by blood, but
I'm about to say, how the fuck is that?
Yeah, not by blood, but him and Han been partners for ever.
Pretty much. And if they were all cool, that definitely would have been an uncle situation. Like,
exactly,
this your people.
Exactly. So you know,
whose son is Kylo Ren again?
Han and Leia
had a kid named Kylo Ren.
Well, actually, his name was Ben.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
See, that's why I ain't watch it.
Yeah, his name was Ben.
I think his name Ben, but he was like, hey, man, you know, I'm going.
Well, you know,
Kylo.
it's just like Anakin. It's just like Anakin. When
you
Anakin
can't be
became
in that world and your name's Ben. It's like, I'm sorry.
The Ben ain't super gangster. You right.
Yeah.
You roll up on me like, hey man, give me your money. I'm Ben. Nigga, like, man,
that don't work.
He was like, no, you were named after one of the greatest Jedis known, but now you went to the dark side. So you're gonna do like your grandfather did, and you're gonna change your name. You know,
so Nation of Islam shit. We changed it.
Right. yeah. I'm Chris X. See all this black.
Pretty much.
You like you about to go do a Def Jam poetry session.
The slam session.
The man said, I can't do what I want to do, but I'm gonna watch Star Wars all day.
And we have.
Oh, you've done a marathon?
I've done a marathon. I've done a Star Wars marathon, and I've done a Lord of the Rings marathon.
I've done a Lord of the Rings, and I've done a Harry Potter. And I've
done that too. I've done that one too.
I think we're trying to do the next one we do is gonna be, well, no, we already did it. We did all the Insidious.
Oh, okay.
Related to that.
They're doing another one.
I love those films. Oh,
they're doing another one. They're doing another one.
I'm not mad at it because I just love it. Although like 2 of them are trash.
Yeah.
I
agree. But I think this will be Insidious 5.
12.
As long as it's not like Fast and Furious 9, 10, and 11. It's like, I don't know.
Jump off a bridge and shit. That shit don't
make no sense. To space and then
I don't know how you're going to explain them going to space. Dominic
Toretto, no one even cares.
There's a rocket. We have to go to space. Family.
I think so. I think you were family.
I seen this cartoon making fun of that shit. This like explaining all the Fast and the Furious stunts. Like, we gotta jump out of this plane because we're family.
Like, and they do it. What? Like nobody's ever like, except for
question that
every once in a while, they just do it, and I'm just like, yo.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
Except for Ludacris, he was like, I want to be in the car, but I'm the tech guy, so I'm gonna stay behind.
Look, y'all need my mind. I'll holler at you.
We're gonna slide on ice with rockets flying at us because we're family.
Because we're a family.
Yeah, it always wraps around.
My nigga, you talking about jumping
angle.
a tank out of an airplane with a parachute, and we all gonna live? How, my nigga? How?
Well, see, there's still.
You said
like, how unrealistic was that? Let's think about it. And we never questioned that.
What was it? Was it 5? Was it 5 when he faces off with Jason Statham for the first time? And like Dom had that big wrench. Jason Statham had that piece of metal wreckage, and they slammed it against each other like they were two swords.
It was a sucking forward. Yeah.
And the first thing I said to myself, and I'm like, you know, the impact from that will tear your hands up.
Yeah. No. Or how the Rock
these guys
threw a fucking pack, and this nigga shot it while car was flipping. And perfectly hit this one little square ass bag, and nobody thought nothing of it. Like,
you mean like in Transporter or something?
No, this was in the one with the Rock and all of them. You know what I'm saying? At the end, where the fucking building is just falling down, and nobody says nothing. How this big slab ass building is falling down like a fucking domino. Nobody questioned that. Can we stop not questioning?
It's like nobody questioned like all the cars that they put like in a chain that connects to a helicopter, and I was just like. Huh?
The Rock is holding this one car like a magnet.
Oh yeah, he definitely doing Steve Rogers.
He was doing the Steve right. He was doing the Steve Rogers, right?
And we never questioned that.
You know what? No, I'm like we
were riding with it because it was Steve Rogers. We know what Captain America's capable of doing.
Yeah, we let that go, and then it just looked cool. Honestly,
now we got some random ass ex-CIA agent just holding down chains.
Like he's just a badass. I mean, I'm not knocking him, but you know, it's
true. And then I'm like, if Idris got this superhuman, he's the Black Superman in this movie, and all the shit that's pumped through him, ain't no way that y'all can take a hit from this man and live to tell the tale.
Like this nigga hitting 4 buildings.
I think what they don't show
is realism.
The realism was like because they that's the behind the scenes. It was like, yeah, we're gonna go home, and then that's when the bruises show up later on after the drilling then die down.
Like these niggas get shot at.
Ribs.
Man. The next day, everybody drinking a beer like nothing ever happened. Like, what the fuck?
And then most they have is like a little bit like of gauze or something right here. Yeah. Like, so what are we gonna do about this guy? And I'm like, what?
Can I sleep for like a week first?
This dude had a little baby ass cut, looked like it was like from a month ago. It was like still a little red. Like, how the fuck you just got into a fight yesterday, got your ass beat, and all you got is one little scar?
That's it. And you literally
one little tear. That's all you got. Come on, man.
You said one little tear. Hard.
You went into the rubble and you're fine.
Oh my God.
Like, dude's car flipped 47 times.
And you're fine.
He gets up, broken ribs. The next day, he like, oh shit, let's play football, bro. Tackle.
Just run it off. Just run it off. That's all you do.
Like, now that I'm old, I start looking at that shit like a cranky old man. Just be like, that's not real.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
That's just not happening. No, my kids you try like, that shut stuff. Up, Dad. We're trying to watch. I'm like, there's no way a vampire and a fucking wolf is fighting over this pasty ass chick. I don't care. That's not real.
First of all, what we're not gonna do is come for Underworld like that. That's what we not.
No. Underworld is fine.
Underworld is fine. I was talking about fucking.
He's coming to Twilight. He's coming for Twilight.
Okay, I was like, don't do that. Well, you see what generation I'm a part of because I wasn't thinking Twilight.
But look at how that line gets blurred.
Yeah.
That was a general ass statement, but you go one way or the other, I'm offending a lot of fucking people.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I am not a fan of Twilight.
Them paisley ass.
You want to? I've never read the novels.
The virus of the book. Yeah.
The virus. I've never touched the virus that is that book.
But mind you, and Brandy can back me up on this. This came on the heels after you canceled Angel in its 5th season.
And I felt away because that last episode.
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna slay the dragon. Damn.
Like nothing. And then
still was like mad that it was the series finale, but damn, that was a good line to end it on.
It was a great line. I have never been more in love with Wes. There was just like so many people that I didn't expect to give a fuck about. That the writing that made you like Angel was worth it. Like that got better season after season, and y'all give us this.
That season was crazy. We're gonna talk about this for a second. We ain't coming off of that. We're gonna talk about this for a second. The last season of Angel, when because by this time they're running Wolfram and Hart, and the stuff that was going on and the deals and that was happening, and you're just like, what the. Why are they?
Are you playing? It was very like I was wondering. I was like, so who's in the tinfoil hat writing this behind the scenes? Because this is very like.
And then they show what was it? The glamour episode, and that's when you find out what he was like. Oh no, he was setting all this stuff up because he was trying to work something from the inside out. All this time he was trying to fight the forces of evil from the outside and push it through. And he's like, there's only one way I can do this. And this is how they end up with Wolfram and Hart. And he's like, I have to do it from the inside and tear it down. And that's when he let the rest of the team in on it because everybody was starting to question him. Everybody.
You look crazy when you don't know. And then that also shows you who's like, you really have to know and trust a person.
Yeah,
in that situation, because if you don't,
and that was that moment. My God, that was that moment.
I would have been like, "Look, can we talk?" And the water.
He was like, my dude, you want to tell me what the fuck going on?
And then to have all that happen, and you still have to work as a team, because some people don't know how to have like reveals happen in shows where it's like you made this decision and did this, and you didn't tell us. And then half of you is like, you understand why they couldn't, but the other half is like, you're supposed to trust me. You're supposed to be that nigga. Right. It's right.
That was insane.
Beyond this.
That was insane. To see all of that, and it came down to it. And it was so much that was lost prior to that.
I don't remember the girl's name who played her, but she played the hell out of that.
Who for for Fred?
Yes. I don't know her name as an actress, but she did a phenomenal job.
That was so painful to watch.
That was a heartbreaking exit. I'm like, can you imagine?
When she, not just the exit, but when you see that Fred dies,
never comes back.
In this time demon or whatever is the one that's taking over her body. And Wes, who had been working with her all this time, and now he's dealing with the time demon
who living inside who is like Anya on steroids.
Yeah, because she's so used to being this major god. She was like this god where she's from, and she's living inside the body of a woman he loved, and he had to deal with that. And you could see the anguish in his face the entire time, where he's trying to show her humanity. He's trying to show her why they do, just like you said with Anya. He's trying to show her humanity, why they do certain things. But that last final scene when they're together, because Angel sends everybody off in teams to different areas, and he sends those two off to face off with one of these other demons that feeds off. Yeah. And it was like he was like a wizard or something, but he was a demon. And Wesley takes that basically that fatal blow. He doesn't die, but he's dying. And she's holding him, and she says, "Would you like me to be her now?" And those was his dying words, was like, yes. And then she changes into him and back into Fred and gives her final words and everything. Then he dies. And then she stands up, and as she's standing up, she turns back into the time demon and punches this wizard in the face, and his whole face and head just shatters.
Oh, I loved it. I love when, I think her name was Illyria.
Yes, that's what it was.
I love
it was
when
Illyria.
After that moment, that's when you realize you're actually finally in tune with humanity, because now you're fucking pissed. And even when she rolled back with the crew, like, what's up?
Yeah,
because I'm
and she was calling everything. Like, Gunn was bleeding to death. You didn't realize he had gotten bit, but he ended up fighting off a whole nest.
You gonna make me watch this mess again?
Yeah, that was, oh my god. And then, like, what was his name? The one that used to work for Wolfram and Hart, but they brought him in.
I know you're talking about too, because he acted the hell out of that.
But he was always against Angel.
Oh, he was always, because he was a shorter guy. And he had that like douchey haircut. I hated his hair. Oh god, I hated his hair. Oh, I'm gonna have to look him up.
Yeah, I gotta check
the hell out of that role.
Oh god, and he teamed him up with Lorne. Yeah, and Lorne was like, and Lorne is never for the violence. He was just like, you sing me a song at my club, and I can tell you your future or whatever. And he was like, he was never a fighter. They just went to him for advice, and he kills this dude. He basically, I think he shot him, and he was like, well, wait, dude looked at him like, why? He was like, this was the last job I told Angel I'd do for him, and he walks off. And I'm like, damn,
right? You're just like, wow.
That was an intense episode, because I'm just like,
an intense ending and a season, but I just knew. Now, do you know if they like wrote that knowing that was it at that time?
I remember the article saying that they did not know if they hadn't gotten the word yet.
Okay, so
they hadn't gotten the word yet, and they said,
like, if it was the end, we're okay with this. Yeah, like maybe leaving it open-ended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't sure how they were going to play it, so they had to leave it some way, and they just kept trying to find out if they were going to hear, if they were getting renewed, and nothing came of it. So
awful to be in that position as a writer, and of course as an actor or actress, where you're just kind of waiting to see if you get another season.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because then you don't know what other projects to take on. You might say yes to something, but you don't want to, but you also want to get paid.
Yeah.
You also need your money.
Yeah.
You don't plan on being at Applebee's, so it's like, I need the job.
But thankfully, everybody still ended up working.
Oh, David Boreanaz did like extremely well. Like, what?
Yeah.
Bones, that was a wrap.
FBI, Bones.
He's done really well. You know, I expected better from My Boo Mercedes. I expected her to do more because I loved her. Her feature in Addams Family I loved, and then her Harmony I loved, and I just expected her to get more, but I think she's got a bit probably typecast. I think some people probably didn't get into other stuff because of that.
Yeah. There was Harmony. Talk about somebody you almost couldn't stand to see because she was always up to something. Good Lord, Harmony.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like she was trying to. She just
played that role well. That's all.
Younger, she was very annoying, and then older, watching reruns, I'm like, I really feel for you, girl, because you're just every girl who wants somebody to like them or love them. That's it.
Yeah, and that was the role. Yeah, that was the role she played.
You're dangerous in that sense because you're rolling with anybody who likes or love you.
Yeah.
So there's no loyalty really to one person except for in that moment, and as soon as they turn, you on to the next one. that toxic ass relationship with Spike. I'm like, this should have been a lesson to us bitches.
Oh, and the only reason why he dealt with her is because she was blonde, and if he had this weird fixation for Buffy.
I mean, Harmony was a baddie, so I'm like, I understand why you deal with her. She looks good.
He was like, how did Spike put it? He kept calling her a twit. Like,
they
get
were
mad at her.
Like a less intense version of freaking Harley Quinn and Joker.
Yes.
That's pretty much how the dynamics were.
It was.
But abuse people, because him and Drew,
we've said it. Oh my God. You didn't know who had the. It wasn't until the end you find out who really got the worst end of that stick. And it was like, man, she did a number on you.
Listen, I was like, this bitch is crazy. And then like she didn't care.
And she was nuts herself. I'm like, this is the girl that changed you?
I'm like, I guess.
Weird. What's going on with Chet Doosterhouse over there?
Oh, sorry, bro.
You doing a line?
Hey, man, his girl from the party.
It did look like he was doing a line.
He's definitely doing a line.
Hey, man, don't get my business. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
How does Dave Chappelle do it? Cut the malarkey. Yeah. White guy talking here.
I love his little voice like that.
Oh God.
Speaking of Chappelle, man, the Chappelle show got picked up from Netflix.
Why not?
Interesting.
They already paying him, man, enough.
Yeah, they paying him. Talking about a come up. He don't seem crazy now, do he, people?
He left 50 million, got what, 160?
Yeah, right.
Plus
played the long game.
I'm still like wanting to just randomly run into him at some like Amish farm or something.
He lives in Ohio.
He stayed.
I know, that's why I said that. He just stays.
You gotta go down there. It's down like by Cincinnati and Columbus somewhere around there.
He's in Springfield, Ohio.
It's
outside of there. It's a little town.
I'm like, hey, dude.
Because remember, he had that rolling concert, that pandemic concert where everybody came into town. You had to stay there. Big star-studded event too.
It's so unspoken of, and I'm like, this dude. Yeah, he calls. They all come running, and then won an Emmy. Where his speech basically says, all the critics didn't think this would work. Well, this is the word I got for y'all. Shut the fuck up forever. And I'm like, that's Dave Chappelle.
Flat out, definitely going down to me. Should be considered on I know people always do like Mount Rushmore as an example of like goats, which I feel like I'm like there's not enough space up there. Because I'm thinking about four. Like you said, not anymore.
You only get 4.
Oh jeez.
That would be difficult to do because I think there's so many great comedians, but they have to think about what makes a great comedian. Because I was talking to myself about this in the car because I had these conversations. I was listening to Ludacris' verse on Sierra's song "Oh," and I was like, Ludacris features alone, I feel like should have him in everybody's top 10 or 20 because that man is bomb. However, I'm like, I don't feel like you get taken serious enough for me as a lyricist. And then I'm like, well, it depends on what somebody considers to be a good rapper. Like, what do you qualify it? And it would be the same thing for a comedian. What makes a great comedian to you? And then that makes sense what people choose.
Yeah, see, that's subjective because everybody's going to say something
but people
weird.
are quick to be like GOAT and blah, blah, blah.
I like John Maloney. Or Mulaney, whatever the fuck his name is.
You talking about the comedian?
Yeah.
He's funny, but
he's all right.
He's written for SNL and all that other stuff.
But some people want to be like, James Cook all day or whoever.
Like his delivery just be.
It's very.
It's kind of, I ain't gonna say dry, but it's.
You might like wet. 80s white collar.
Yeah.
That's what
me and my dad were watching TV the other day. Okay.
Like,
what happened?
My dad don't watch TV together.
But my dad doesn't watch TV. Oh, get the fuck, shut up.
That's how he does his stand-up.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Something got revealed this week, and it was a little sooner than I expected. It was basically a little bit of a pool going on. The Last Ronin premiered this week. The Last Ronin premiered this week, and for those who don't know, The Last Ronin is a 5-issue miniseries of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And what happens is 3 of the turtles, including Splinter, are dead. The 4th turtle, the identity was unknown. However, it premiered this week, and they released who the Ronin, the last Ronin is, and turns out it's Michelangelo.
Oh, like everybody guessed.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was only because it felt predictable that he would be the last one left for some reason.
Because number one, it's always been looked at that Michelangelo is number one. He's the youngest of the four. He just has that mentality.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he's useless.
Oh no, oh no.
Hey, hold on now.
I've never said he's useless.
No,
he's just
like my go-to line when I'm in people's inbox when it comes to the dating thing. They'll say hi, and my opening is I'll ask them. I'm like, so I have a very serious question for you. If you're ready for this early, and they'll say yeah, and I'm like, I need to know who your favorite Ninja Turtle is, and that tells me everything I need to know.
And well, no, like, that's actually Mikey, a good gauge to use.
I'm like, if I hear Mikey, I'm losing it. I'm like,
yeah, stop. I'm not gonna lie. If you picking, because you got Leonardo was the leader, Donatello was a smart guy, Raphael was a badass, and Michelangelo was the
he was the laid back
comic relief.
He was the comic relief, and he was laid back.
First of all,
but he handled his business.
I get why you need somebody like Mikey, because you need the polar opposite of someone like Ralph. So that makes sense to kind of almost have that buddy comedy play off. However, as a Ralph girl, I'm looking at Mikey like, look, nigga, you are really working my fucking nerves. Like,
well, that was Raph all day long.
That Raphael is your favorite. That explains a lot.
But see, now during this whole thing, when everybody was talking about who the last Ronin is, I'm like, it's too obvious to make it Leonardo. It's too obvious to make it Raphael. It just didn't make sense.
It was never going to be Ralph. I'm like, that's
right.
Because he
like he's done the loner thing before anyway.
So I'm like, we don't need to see that again. We need somebody that needs character development. So
I don't think Donatello was badass enough.
Exactly. It doesn't fit his aesthetic.
There was no tech with it neither. So I was like, yeah, it can't be Donatello because he's not using no gadgets.
And it was always going to boil down to Michelangelo, because here was somebody who he was considered the youngest. He was the goofy one.
He was considered useless.
But he was considered. It depends on the circle you're in.
First of all, another reason why me and mine knew it was Mikey, because I'm like, one, in my opinion, you're useless. You're not somebody where if I had to pick two of the turtles, like in a dire situation, I'm gonna choose Mikey. Absolutely not. Like, if I'm thinking survival, absolutely not. We can find another nigga to make us laugh. Like KC, tell jokes. I don't need you. I don't look at you as essential. So it made sense to me that he would be it, because I'm like, okay, you need this character development as a whole.
He's the one that had the most growth.
Exactly.
Yeah. He had the most growth.
And why wouldn't my guy?
I mean, and he wasn't in my opinion, he wasn't useless.
Nope.
He was just not the one when, my dude was always Leonardo or Raphael. Those were the two.
Mikey.
Only because I got a thing for swords. So I'm
Raphael
like, Raphael
remind me of Vegeta. Like he talk a bunch of shit, then get his ass kicked, and then try to come back later.
That was the appeal. Like he just, even though he might be getting it handed to him,
he
didn't stop. He would not stop.
Vegeta did the same thing.
He was an animal.
Well, a turtle.
He was an animal. Rap.
Bye. Yeah, a turtle.
Yeah, a turtle. He was a real animal.
So I mean, he wouldn't quit. He wasn't a quitter.
Yeah, but we can say the same thing about Vegeta. And it
gets it handed to him,
and which I understand why there's such a fan base.
So that makes Leonardo Goku.
Also a Vegeta girl, so I'm like,
oh my god! See, it explains so much now that you say you like Raphael and Vegeta.
Because I would totally.
Oh my god, that explains so much.
I would totally be that person that would talk a whole bunch of shit. And of course, you get your ass beat, but then you still talking shit. Like I'm still.
You want to know when life knocks you down, you gotta get back up, girl.
Kakarot.
Pretty much. Like I will
How
never.
Did you get to the Super Saiyan?
I will never give you that respect.
I kept practicing. I wasn't just sitting around getting my ass whipped all the days. I was actually, putting work in. My nigga Vegeta.
But I did enjoy times where I felt like Leo really could have gave Ralph the business and would stop himself at a certain point.
He would hold back. He holds back.
Just to establish dominance, like I'm just fucking with you right now, but please let it be known.
Nigga, when I go Super Saiyan blue on your bitch ass,
I'm not mad at that. I'm like, okay.
Like that's why Leonardo was the shit, because he knew he could whip your ass.
He was like, he's just not gonna show it off. He was like, but you keep it up.
Because then he break your confidence, Raphael. Then you sit in the corner like a bitch with two little pitchforks.
They was always fighting. No, he was just like, he like Master Splinter made me the leader of the team. There's a reason why.
Yeah, Yeah.
You know, he would always throw that in his face. He would always throw that in his face.
And I'm like, you may not, I feel like with Ralph, you may not like being told what to do, but you don't want to be the leader.
Guidance.
You don't want to be the leader like that.
Right.
You don't want to be told what to do.
You can't handle this weight.
You really can't
handle this weight. You don't have the mindset. You're too angry.
Oh my God. You'd be like, oh my God, yes. I'd literally be like, all right, whatever.
Now for the like I know in the newest animation that they have, they changed the roles.
Yeah.
Raphael is now the leader and Leonardo is the second in command.
I don't like the animation on the new one.
None of that.
I'm biased.
They look
but
weird.
I have seen some scenes where they went really hard. Weird. They've gone hard. I think what's it called? It's called Tales of the Ninja Turtles. Tales of the Ninja Turtles.
I don't like all that. I'm sorry. I'm old, man. I don't like all these goddamn weird looking cartoon gumballs.
Man, Chet, you sound like you old when you talk about
like Gumball is good. You are missing
out.
No,
hold on. Don't get me wrong. I ain't talking about that, but Gumball works for Gumball. I don't want to see Gumball with the Ninja Turtles. All that off the wall goofy bullshit.
That's
Teen Titans looking shit where they just doing goofy ass
even that's passable because that garbage that we dealt with the Thundercats.
I still can't watch that. I just seen the commercial for that bullshit.
Was not going.
Turned my TV off. My kid was like, "Ooh, that look good." I said, "Nope, you'll be watching the original."
Now the one they did probably like 2007 or 10. It was way better than
that. Was hard.
Yeah. That new one, that Roar
so excited to watch with my kid. I think I was on it more than he was. And then they had a Spider-Man that came out a couple years after that. We had
Disney XD
that had the boy from Jake and Josh doing the voiceover for
him. Oh
yeah.
That
Drake
shit.
Bell.
The first episode I caught was when that
Drake Bell
Commandos came up there with Blade. Yep. I was sold. It was a 2-part episode too. I was so excited.
That is still going. That's on the Disney XD. I watched that.
So
you talking about the 90s one?
No, it's
the 90s one is good. They did a reboot one.
A new one.
I remember all the reboots. I think it was called The Amazing Spider-Man. It was a little more.
It's good.
I know what you're talking about because I think it came out of
Venom. Flash Thompson is Venom.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Then they got Coulson is the principal at the school.
Yep, that's it. Because they would have Stan Lee as the janitor. He would show up every
that
now
one.
And
yeah. That one's actually good.
Yeah, it was actually they all were really good. They just kept rebooting it.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate
Spider-Man. Yeah.
That shit was good. I'm like,
they brought the Avengers in every now and then.
And then they went off and got Avengers for Avengers Mightiest Hero, World's Mightiest Heroes. That version was
they had a spin-off of that. Avengers had a spin-off of the Avengers.
That was the one where you got to see everybody show up.
Black Widow does a really good job.
Black Panther.
Yeah. And then they redid it again, and then when they redid Spider-Man again, they redid the Avengers cartoon, and they did the right thing. They melded everything together.
And all that.
Yeah. Oh,
I remember the TV special movies were good too, and I got into. I think it was on Disney XD too. That had the Star Wars series that had the boy named Ezra.
Yeah, Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, that shit was good too.
Star Wars Rebels is fantastic.
Y'all are not missing. I'm like, it's really good.
They do a very they fall right in Miami DJ. You wearing sunglasses at night.
Fist pumping like a champ, bro.
Despite all the neon lights.
Despite all general warnings from the Surgeon General, do not ever wear glasses inside in the dark. I'm a fucking trailblazer.
Okay, Diddy.
No, but I'm not a fan because I don't like, maybe because I grew up with the original Ninja Turtles, like the original grainy looking shit, like the Zapruder Films looking one, where it was like, I don't like all that weird looking animation, like Donatello looked like a skinny crackhead. It's just weird, like he freebasing in his free time. Like
I will tell you,
I seen the Batman versus Superman. I mean Batman versus Ninja Turtles. That shit looked kind of weird. Batman looked all right, but Ninja Turtles looked weird as shit.
It's a weird combo. They went like early 90s on that one. That was a weird combo.
Donatello looked like he was back in the 70s.
Well, see, what a lot of people don't know is, and you talk about the Ninja Turtles and all the versions that they have that's been on television are a drastic difference from what was in the comics. When they first came out. They were black and white. They were grimy. There were some dark moments. People died.
Yeah.
there was death involved. So when they flipped this over, you know, to the television show, they lightened it up. You know,
they can lighten it up.
Even the CGI one, I was watching the CGI one today, which was from mid 2000s or whatever, like 2015 or something like that. And Super Shredder, because he got mutated. Super Shredder.
Oh yeah, Super Shredder.
He throws Splinter off the building and he dies.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's usually what happens when you get thrown off a building.
Yeah, you know.
Well, not much as Rock or, you know, these.
Yeah, if you're in the Rock, yeah.
If you're in Fast and Furious, you can survive that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Let's talk about that scene for a second. Let's go back. Remember when they jumped out the building, dude, blew it up? Decker, Shaw blew up the fucking building. Yep. And these motherfuckers landed on a whole car and was cool. This nigga had a broken leg and a weird cough afterwards.
Literally walked it off.
Look.
And then he busted the cast off to go to Puerto Rico or Brazil. Or
the one on his arm?
Yeah, this is like, oh, daddy got to go to work for family. Ah!
that is.
Oh, wait, do that again. Daddy got to go to work for family.
Daddy got to go to work for family. Yeah. We're going to go to the White House. Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
I will never let that shit go.
No.
Oh my God.
We're gonna go to the White House. Daddy gotta fight. Yeah.
The fact that Dave Chappelle he'd go
I just seen that last week.
I just seen that shit the other day. That's
oh my God. He was like, when I take my wife and I'm gonna bend over and I'm like, yeah. This dude is a fool. I forgot he did that line.
I did not forget he did that shit.
I'm like, I knew he did it, but I was like, I forgot. I was laughing so hard. Like I can imagine the people he had, like the stand-ins. Like you don't know what he's going to say.
Especially if you don't got a script. You just like, okay, we're extras.
Yeah.
How many takes do it take to get that shit right without somebody just like, oh God damn it. Oh shit.
You're like,
all right, take 57.
He was like, this is
I forgot he was gonna do it. Sorry.
Oh my God, Dave.
But yeah, I can't get down with it. I'm sorry.
What were we talking about? The Rock?
I don't know. Oh yeah, the Rock falling out the fucking window. How?
Yeah.
Do you land on a whole fucking car with this girl falling on your chest and you just like, oh, I got a sprained ankle and a bum elbow.
That's it.
I got a sprained butt cheek.
I fell off the bed the other day and damn near broke my back.
That's because you're not in shape. See, we got to be in shape like The Rock.
I was in shape. It was on the ground. I was in the shape of an L.
Backwards.
I almost made a cross. That shit hurted. I don't give a fuck what kind of shape you is. You was not falling on no goddamn car and walking that shit off.
I gotta get in that amount of shape and see first. I'll let y'all know next.
Well, you go ahead and do that, and
I'll let y'all know next summer.
We're gonna be like, hey, and when Brandy's still in the hospital, she ain't contractions.
When you record it for me and I play, all I gotta do before I jump is say for family, and I am guaranteed to survive.
If you say that shit,
break your goddamn neck. Guaranteed to do. Fuck all that. I don't want to hear none of that. But that's like a fucking weird ass fucking we gotta get CJ. Is that like an incantation you do before you do some stupid shit?
Oh my God,
for the family.
He's already
Azriel's family. I'm gonna start doing that shit when I do something. Before I do something stupid, I'm like Azriel, Mentros, family. Yeah. Yeah, but throw that in the ear. Wow. I'm gonna jump out a fucking window. You're like, oh, I lived. I got a bum elbow, but daddy's got to go to work.
Pretty much.
For family.
For family. And then they do the spell and we
that shit is goofy, man.
I mean, shout out to The Rock because I hope to talk to
him for making family. Shout out for first stealing the family and then putting Tyrese's big ass forehead in his place.
Not his big ass forehead.
Oh, he did that shit.
He did that shit. That was the funniest scene I've ever seen. That wasn't
because they wasn't supposed to do that. He
like, oh, look at the guy with the big muscles and a small t-shirt. He's like, that fucking forehead, you shouldn't be talking.
Like Luda bust out like he spits his beer out because it was an unrehearsed scene.
Yeah, he threw that line in there. And Tyrese just like,
is his confidence
for family?
His confidence ain't been the same since then.
That nigga got shook.
He was like, how they gonna make Hobbs and Shaw before a fight, before this the Fast and the Furious?
We gonna come in and take away from the family?
He was like, he ain't even in the family. I'm like, dude, let it go.
He is the family, bitch. Because when The Rock brought your ass gone, you gone.
Right.
That's definitely how it is.
That's Rock Cartagena, motherfucker.
You better shut up and take this check.
He came in for like, what did he came into? Movie 5? I was like, yeah, you the franchise like king. You come in and just revive the shit out of something.
Yeah.
Because we want to
Rock touch your shit and it don't sell, you got a problem.
Right.
Yeah,
but if it starts selling and you start running your mouth, you ain't happy. Hey man, I want more money. Yeah, The Rock said we can't give you more money. Man, nigga, fuck The Rock. Now you sitting at motherfucking Chinatown with a sign talking about we'll work for food.
He said Chinatown.
Yeah, or don't want to be one of them.
You can't stay here no more. You can't stay
lazy
here.
bums. You be like blah 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 change.
Go back to being on that bus singing about Coca-Cola again. Oh, keep that shit up.
Damn, that nigga came from a long way. You don't want to go back to that. It's for the coke in you.
Y'all finna leave him alone.
Remember that nigga was just black and couldn't sing? He was like halfway decent.
All, no, he was pretty okay.
He's pretty
until
black.
He got on Twitter. He was after I followed him on Twitter.
After he got some money, he started becoming. That's the crazy part.
Oh God, he got work. I'm like Tyrese. I was like in love with you. I was buying these albums. I was here for you.
You simple. Then he got some money. He became this weird ghoulish forehead black creature.
Weird. He is so weird now.
He been weird. You just didn't see it because he.
I swear, ever since
he ain't had the money. He didn't.
He ain't had the money.
See, first, Ving Rhames choked the mess out of him.
Yeah.
Then The Rock roasted the mess out of him. So he just was just like, man, I'm just taking all types of losses, man.
All kind of L's.
Like Snoop was staring you down with the perm.
And shot at you
with the perm. And I was like, you just
and banged your baby mama
out
fresh out of prison.
And was kicking your kids for it.
Right.
Shit out of that for it.
I love that scene. That's probably my favorite scene. I hate you. I hate you too. Like I loved
nigga,
that
fuck
scene.
You and your punk ass daddy, nigga.
Loved it.
Big Snoop Dogg.
Oh man.
Pick this shit like fuck your fascism.
Man. Well, this normally I would have done on this day in pop culture history, but it's Halloween. So I decided to do a little something different because we're gonna go straight to the meat and potatoes of this whole trifecta of a group we got going on here. We're keeping this horror theme going. We're going to talk about the horror.
The horrors.
Not which hornets. Not which hornets. Not which. If you're wondering about with the witch hornets, if you're wondering about the witch hornets, go follow the triangle and you'll find out what the witch hornets is.
Yes, please watch that episode because
man. But today's episode, we're talking about the worst of horror movies, the worst horror movies you might have seen, the worst spins, whatever the worst of a horror film that you've seen. This is what we're talking about. And I told the crew, pick about 5. It'll be about 15 between us. But let's face it, you know, we kind of go off the rails. If you watch The Triangle, if you watch Blerd's Eyeview, and if you watch What the Shit, we go off the rails a lot. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. We don't really stick with it.
Yeah, it's the aesthetic. We make it work. So I got some notes, and I'm probably going to start with the worst one of my list anyway.
So we're going from 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
I'm going from 5 to 1. And actually my 1 is not that isn't to me it's not the worst. It's just I actually love it, but they label it is it has a 0 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not the worst to me. But I'm starting backwards. So this is kind of a tie because the 4 that I have, they're all up there in the trash section. So I'm starting with The Happening. By M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. You know, this starred Mark Wahlberg, and you know, this isn't where it started to go left, but this was just one of those films that, you know, M. Night is known for his twists. And the twist of this film, and I don't care if it's a spoiler warning or not, because it's been out long enough.
20 years.
Yeah. So. You find out, you know, people are killing themselves. You don't know why. And then it turns out it's the plants. It's giving off some kind of pheromone and people are freezing dead in place. And then all of a sudden they have these suicidal tendencies. And it's like a climate control commercial or something.
Or a bad weed commercial.
Yeah, or bad weed. Yeah. That acid wasn't right, man.
It could have been, they had those propaganda things to try to get people to stop smoking weed.
Oh my God, yeah.
That wacky tobacco make you freeze and commit suicide.
The weefer is no good for you.
That dope.
So yeah, that no disrespect to Mark Wahlberg. I like you, Mark, but that movie was trash. It was a dumpster fire, dipped inside a gorilla's baby diaper, dipped inside daggone East Cleveland sewage dump. It was garbage.
Damn. Well,
yeah. And going along with that, Tales from the Hood 2.
I never
Brandy, you gave me a look. You thought I was going to say Tales from the Hood, the first one. No, the second.
No, I knew you weren't going to be that blasphemous.
No.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. Not for me to log out.
I absolutely enjoy the first one. The
Nicholas is getting you tonight.
The Nicholas. that look that man had when I was like, me and my brother always said he looked like he looking for his keys.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, where the fuck did I put these keys?
Oh my God, it's
the little Nicholas. But yeah, Tales from the Hood 2. I believe that one's on. It might be on Netflix, but it was. And even though Keith David was in it, that movie was horrible. You could tell that they tried. You could tell they tried to capture the magic of the first one, and it just didn't work.
First one was just so unexpectedly good.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you see David Allen Greer talking, he's just like, oh, you want to draw monsters of people? You think that shit's funny?
I hated him after that. I was like, you're just the worst. But then that's how somebody was really embodying something.
Yeah. The second one was just so bad. They really tried.
You can tell when someone's just trying to get them coins.
Yeah. And then apparently there's a third one. There's a third one. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, there's a third one. I have not seen it. It might be on Prime. I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh God, that was horrible. Jason X.
Oh, yeah.
Explain.
Oh, you ever seen Jason X? It's a space Jason.
Oh no. I've seen it. I'm just saying I didn't know it was going to be on the list because there are just so many bad films.
Yeah.
Oh well.
For me, it's Jason X, and I will tell you, it's 4 words. X
for me.
4 words are Jason gets an upgrade. That's what they literally say in the film because he becomes he gets an upgrade because there is a medical bay area where they use nanites. Now let's get the premise of the show or the movie here. Some researchers find Jason's body that gets deep frozen and it ends up on a spaceship. Don't ask me how. It's the future. So his body gets thawed out through some accident, obviously. He wakes up. Now he's Jason trapped on a spaceship in space in the future, killing people off. The funniest scene, however, was the scene where they have a simulation area, a holographic simulation room. And there's some girls and they literally are topless and they're saying, let's do drugs and have gratuitous sex. That's literally what they say. And then they show the rest of the team because that was to draw Jason away from them, kind of distract them. And so while they're trying to find a way to keep safe, they go back to where Jason is on this hologram. And he's got the one girl stuffed inside a sleeping bag and he's slamming her body against a tree like it's a bat. That was hilarious.
I forgot all about that scene.
You know what the best part of that movie was, though?
What's that?
The end credits.
There you go.
The next movie after that.
But there was a scene where there was the android because there was a nerd who had this hot android, and there's always a hot android. But he programmed the android to fight, and so she gets all geared up and has shotgun shells, and she's in a tight leather black skirt. I don't know how that's fighting gear, but Buffy,
it's always fighting gear. You know how that goes for us.
So
the better.
You remember the fucking God leaves on the chicken Power Rangers?
Yeah.
I cannot believe that outfit was for the PG movie.
Yeah,
that was PG. Imagine if that joint was rated R.
Oh my God.
It probably would have been the same. Plus,
no, it probably would have been less. He would have had one leaf on.
One leaf. But
like the little Kim joint.
She's getting the upper hand as usual because she's an android, and she gets the best of him, and he lands on the medical bay. Now the medical bay has nanites, which helps, heal the crew. If you get an injury, they use the nanites to kind of stitch you up a little faster and everything else. Well, it used all the foreign matter that was on Jason's body. It used the metal that was lying, because he landed on the medical bay. He didn't lay down. He landed on it. So he pretty much destroyed it. It malfunctioned. So it just used the next best thing, since he's decaying body anyway. It just used the next best thing. And next thing you know, he's got these metal biceps and metal hockey mask and just metal and dead flesh.
2000 thing?
Yeah. And I'm just, and it's like, what happened to Jason? Oh, Jason gets an upgrade. What the fuck? Horrible.
Yeah, and they let it ride out too.
They did. My number 2 is Trolls 2. Troll 2.
Never saw it.
And we're not talking about the animated movie.
I was about to say Disney Trolls.
Like those go hard. So again,
with little sparkles bottom butter.
Nope. Nope.
Nope. Leave glitter sparkles bottoms alone.
Now, the one of the reasons why I don't like Troll 2 is because it has nothing to do with Troll 2. Yeah, they're like,
I ain't never seen the first one.
And it had nothing to do with the first one. You know how you watch a movie and it's a sequel to something, but the sequel has nothing to do with the first one. It has nothing.
And then I'm kind of, because I got one on my list, and I'm like,
it's nothing. The same cast ain't there. It has nothing to do with the old cast. There's no mention of it, anything. It's sort of like watching Halloween 3.
Oh my God, good point.
Yeah.
There was nothing about Michael Myers in that movie. Nothing. Which that should have made my list. But then the other bad part about Troll 2 is, and this is how the dude acted. They made a documentary. He actually made a documentary of this. But when they see what happened to one of the main character on the screen, this was his reaction. Oh no! That was the scene.
Wow.
That was his anguish scream, whatever. Yeah. Now, number 1 for me, it's not bad. I actually enjoy it. I love it a lot.
Doesn't count.
It's more of it doesn't count. You're right. I'll put Halloween 3 in place of it. But because they gave it an extremely low rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, that's not fair, but I'm gonna give it its just due. Nothing But Trouble.
Oh, that's a fucking classic.
Thank you.
I showed that to my wife. She was like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
That movie.
I seen that hilarious. As a kid. That movie changed my life.
Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Chevy Chase,
Tupac,
Demi Moore,
Digital Underground.
First time you see Tupac on screen.
Yep.
So even though it might just be for a brief blink and you miss it, but Digital Underground is on there. Probably one of the best,
funniest.
It really doesn't really count as a horror film.
No,
it's just a funny, semi-scary movie. It's not really scary.
That sounds like one of those movies that wasn't supposed to be scary.
It really wasn't. They just said worst horror movie. I'm like, that's not really a horror movie, and it's not really the worst. It's more of a comedy. It is a comedy.
It is.
Check it out if you never get a chance, because it was 1990.
Yeah.
And let's face it, it's John Candy.
One of the
playing, He played the cop and he played the sister.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dan Aykroyd plays 2 parts. He plays the judge and he plays one of the big obese twins.
Oh, them twins. Demi Moore was in it.
Demi Moore. Yep, Demi Moore and Chevy Chase.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
What are you gonna do, Judge? I'm gonna go see my son-in-law in New York City. He runs through the wall.
He's like, "Oh no, you won't." You heard what the last word he said. No, you won't.
My guy ran through the wall, Bugs Bunny style.
Oh my God, that movie doesn't get enough credit. I don't know what they were expecting from it, but like I said, it's a John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase film. 3 guys who have known to be on SSC TV or SCTV, which is like Canada's version of Saturday Night Live. You know, Dan Aykroyd is from Saturday Night Live. Chevy Chase is from Saturday Night Live. John Candy is from Canada. He was on the SCTV show. You know, so these guys work together. They know to do improv. They know what makes stuff funny. You know, rest in peace, John Candy. That dude was hilarious, man. He's always gonna be Uncle Buck to me. So,
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. Every time that movie's on, I watch it. First time you see Macaulay Culkin.
Oh wow, a throwback back.
Yep. That's when he was in his cute kid stage.
Because baby, talk about not coming out.
Right. He was like, I think he was like 7. He was like the twin. Him and his sister was like 7. It was a twin he was supposed to have, and like Uncle Buck was making him pancakes, and he made like this mad huge pancake that he had to flip with a snow shovel. I don't know where the hell he got the griddle from because it was in the house. He didn't know how to work the washing machine, so he was like soaking everything in the kitchen sink.
That's ridiculous.
Like John Candy was a treasure, man.
National treasure.
He's up there with Betty White.
How's she doing? Anybody check on her? Because she's been awfully quiet.
She good.
She's still good. She's still on
I
there.
just feel like everyone's
at the other party I was at.
No, man. Oh, you say she was the DJ where the party was at?
Yeah.
Please stop talking to us.
Like, put your hands in the air, motherfuckers. I'm Betty White, bitch.
Oh, like she did in the what was it, the proposal?
Yep.
She does the chant.
So, Bernie, you want to go next?
I just saw this really. Somebody did him from Powerpuff Girls as their Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Immensely distracted because I'm like, first of all, yes. Second, that nigga was scary as hell. Like,
Hello, girls.
Just that way that voice was.
That voice was fucked up.
That alone, and then like especially when he was like bathing or doing makeup, I'm like, I didn't realize one, you were a drag queen. I never caught that.
Yeah.
The things you don't know when you're a kid.
Yeah, you didn't know, you didn't care.
There's a picture online, and I seen it on Facebook, and there's 3 black girls. One's a little baby, one's probably like 7, another one probably looks like an 8 or 11. Girls. They're all Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, I reposted that because the girl who's Buttercup, she looked so mad, and I was like, yes.
I want that show. I want that show.
I'm like, I want little girls now. Okay, so I say in not any particular order, but I'll start with 5. I'm going with House of Wax.
Wait, which version?
You already know the Paris
Hilton.
Yeah, okay. That was the upside to that. Not that I like Paris Hilton.
That was the selling point. That's why people go in.
I want to see her die.
Yeah, pretty much. That was, and what's crazy is that.
Oh my God, it's in.
I remember, and I think her acting was the scariest part of the movie.
It was the worst part of the movie
because nothing else, I couldn't. It was so hard to follow and care, and when I don't care about what's happening with these people.
The bad part about that, the other bad part is Jared Padalecki was in that film. And I like Jared Padalecki. He plays Sam Winchester on Supernatural.
Well, I'm glad he got another gig.
Rebound.
Because
he's going to be Walker, Texas Ranger now. So I mean,
luckily for Paris, she wasn't doing too bad outside of the acting either. So
right.
End up
not exactly the job you need for yourself. So
not at all. But
it's better than One Night in Paris.
Like, you just want to be famous for the sake of being famous. Because let me be a Hilton, baby. Y'all wouldn't see me or hear from me. I'm laying low with all this money.
You like white chicks.
4 is going to be Saw 5. I could have chose a lot of other ones, but that one just really bothered me because, again,
how did that one end again? Was it the cop? Was that the cop one?
And that's the main reason I watched it. No lie, I was like, "Oh, Megan Good, and I'm gonna watch it."
Oh, okay.
Our queen. It was trash. I think the most memorable scene was when everybody was around like this circle contraption and your hand could get dug into or whatever, and the guy had to like pick, so everybody's like lying about shit like, oh, I got a kid or I got this or that or whatever. And I'm like, after the second one, y'all just ran with it to me. The second one was like decent. First one everybody loved, I understand. Second one was not awful. His kid being in a safe place, and it was actually the safe in the station, and and I felt like Johnny Wahlberg did a good job. I liked it. And just still that scene of the guy cutting his number off the back of his neck, I was like, holy shit. That was good for 2. And then they went off the rails, but 5 just was just torture porn. It didn't there was nothing to follow. You didn't care about shit. And they really didn't build on anything with Jigsaw connecting to anybody else. They started doing it after those films, and you're like, oh, this person never died, and this person been helping you all along. It was a shit show.
It definitely was a shit show.
It was a shit show. So number 3 is Blair Witch, Book of Shadows.
I'm glad you picked it.
Fuck.
Because I was like, that's too obvious for me to pick it. I'm glad you picked it.
I was excited to watch it because the first Blair Witch, I ended up watching by myself by accident. Because it started with my mom because she was helping me take out my braids. That's very much how a Black story starts. She was helping me take out my braids. Then she was like, I need to go start cooking. I was like, I'll do the rest. And we'd already started watching the movie. And I'm watching the ending and spiraling on the inside because I'm like in 7th grade at the time. And I remember sleeping with my light on for like a month because I was shook. And this was before social media was such a big thing. So I'm like, what happened to these white kids? Are they still alive? Like, I was tripping. So the first movie had me shut. So then the second one comes out and I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to go to Hollywood Video and get this film.
Hollywood Video. Damn.
Because Blockbuster be taxing, so you got a Hollywood Video.
Yeah, Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video. And watching that second one, I was just like, how annoying. And then did it have not Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the other one. I can't think of his name, but he had him in it.
Mac, not Mac. Dennis.
Was it Mac? I think you're right.
Was it Mac? I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, look it up. I think you're right. And I'm like, with this cast that you have, I think you could have done like a better job, but it was just all over the place and their little found footage. You just didn't care. It wasn't like connected to the original story like it could have been. I couldn't even tell you how the ending went. That's how bad I felt like that movie was. I think I didn't even finish it fully. I think the only thing I liked about it was when they would take like people's pictures, their faces would be all blurry. And I kind of liked following like that, but that was it. There was nothing else to it. That was shit. Number 2 is going to be a tie. Surprise.
Oh no, it's actually Jeffrey Donovan. I know who you're talking about. He looks like him. He looks like Mac.
So 2 is going to be a tie between Day of the Dead with Nick Cannon, because what the fuck was that? What? And I watched a lot of zombie movies, but that shit was some bullshit.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh, honey.
Be glad you don't.
You have to watch it just to laugh because the ending was laughable. They tried an extra jump scare at the end, and at that point, I was like, listen, we don't care. Like, nobody cares. And then I kind of have one that's like with what you were saying, Chris, where I liked it, but when you watch it again, you're like, this was some shit. Darkness Falls was really not that good. When you rewatch it, I'm like, did we really? And when me and my brother first watched it, we were shook. Like the Tooth Fairy, that bitch gonna come through. She gonna kill us, but we gonna have to defeat her in a lighthouse with what?
That was too much.
The storyline. That's the type of movie where you remember the lore, the beginning of how they talk about somebody. Mm-hmm. Don't really pay attention to anything else, and you get to the ending of how do we defeat this bitch, but you don't care about anything else in between. So that movie was trash, although I like it. So you can still watch Darkness Falls. I'm gonna still plug the film. It was like 2003, so we're probably dating ourselves for those listening.
Oh my goodness, that was horrible.
It's something to watch. And number 1 for me, because I fell asleep when I tried to watch it twice, The Fog.
Oh,
they have The Fog. They did, I think, 2004 or 5.
That was Tom Welling.
I fell asleep
right on the heels.
Confederates in the fog or something
like
that.
They were coming out saying nigga
slave owners.
Yeah, it was right on the heels of Smallville, and
he wanted something to do.
It was you could tell that was he was going to be the draw, but it was still like your acting in this is so wooden and
horrible.
And then you don't care about like just having a scene where you're in the house and people are like, put the towels under the door and you're just like, y'all really running for the fire. It was like, I would rather watch The Mist again than this bullshit. Like if I'm gonna deal with some fog and mist, I'm gonna go with Stephen King more so than I am this bullshit.
Yeah. Let's talk about The Mist for a hot second. Talk about an ending.
Talk about a bomb-ass book. Talk about a bomb-ass movie. Talk about the fact that old girl that was acting a fucking fool in the grocery store, really, they just
made it.
Supporters. While you playing, she was a Trump supporter. You know she was.
Damn it.
That was well acted. I love that movie. I will watch it anytime it comes on. I think one of the I knew it was going to be a good scary movie to me because that would probably be in some top 10 shit for me. When the old boy was in the garage area and that nigga came through and like ripped his chest off, I was like, oh my God, can you imagine when you're trying to save and help somebody and you see some shit like that? You got to let their hands go. You're dead. That
was insane.
It was insane. After that, I was sold because my ex-husband was watching at the time, and I typically don't like scary movies, but I do like scary survival films. Especially when you have no clue, there's this portal that open and the government comes through and you're doing what you think you should do as a dad because it's a wrap. Even how he found his fucking wife. Like, come on. That movie was crazy. I do want to give a shout out to a movie that I feel like is also one of the goats of the early 2000s for scary movies. The Descent was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
People don't talk about it enough when they talk about scary movies. I'm like, these bitches, especially for something that was female led.
Yeah.
Horror film.
And that twist at the end of that, man.
Listen, and the second one, I did watch the second one. Yeah, it was cool. It wasn't awful. It was worth the watch, but The Descent it's highly underrated still, in my opinion. That shit was phenomenal.
Yeah. That was crazy. The Descent in the Mist.
Mm-hmm. Those were good.
When you're like clamoring, you're like, okay, they got it. They're out. No, they ain't.
You thought, and that's something I won't ruin for if you're listening to it. You need to watch the film.
Yeah.
That was an ending I was never expecting. I couldn't have predicted that in a million years. Like, I would have never guessed at all. So
that's crazy.
Pretty fucked up.
Chet Deuce the house.
Yes. Sorry, Texan bro, man, they're on me. I got 5, but I don't give a fuck how you guys feel. This is it. One is for 5 is going to be from 1993. Jason Goes to Hell. That shit was weak as fuck. He was transferring from body to body when people touched each other, and he like a fucking venereal disease nobody could get rid of. I don't understand that. Kind of
very It Follows.
Oh Lord.
Jeepers Creepers 3. It got weird after 2. I'm sorry, that shit got weird.
Jeepers Creepers allowed.
The third one was fucking, I don't know. Jason X made the list.
Why am I not
again,
surprised?
That shit was weird as fuck. The Power Ranger Jason around killing people. Bones.
Oh.
How dare you?
How dare them make that shit? Try to pass it. Don't get mad at me.
Look, and the hype was so real for that movie.
That shit.
The hype was so real for that movie.
Yeah.
It was. We were very behind it. Like, okay.
Oh my God, Snoop's in a horror film, and then he's got like long fingernails and like the Slim Reaper. No. And one Reaper was Blair Witch Project 2, because that shit was really trash.
It was so bad. I didn't give a fuck about them in that cabin. I didn't care about nothing. I've never started a film just not caring about the people involved.
Just garbage. There's something to be said about films or horror films that they just don't care about. I don't know. Like you got lazy with it, you know. House of the Dead comes to mind, you know. Jaws the Revenge, which doesn't really count as a horror movie, just like.
Does it count as a movie?
How did we not mention Leprechaun
in Space?
Back to the Hood.
Oh, the Leprechaun in the Hood.
Or Back in the Hood. Okay.
Back to the Hood.
He didn't go the first time. He went twice.
He went twice.
I have to go back to the Hood.
One, and these are all honorable mentions we're going through. Just because of the hype, I had to see it, and I regretted it. It's one of the few things in life I regret watching, and this was The Human Centipede.
Oh yeah, they made a second part.
They made 3 of them.
There's 3. That third one, you almost have to watch just to say you watched it. It's really bad in the prison. Oh my God.
I couldn't believe they get lit. I'm like, how do you let them get away? This is disgusting. I'm like, I found my line. Let's put it that way. I found the line and I crossed it, and I'm like, that's not me. Oh
yeah. You felt dirty afterwards.
Oh my God.
Like voting for Trump.
There's not enough anything to
feel real dirty inside. Like, how can I do that?
No, it's bad. There's some stuff y'all burning out. Like, I've never. We were talking about it when we had Damien Nova on our show, and we were talking about scary movies. And I was like, I'll never watch that Siberian Experiment or whatever it's called.
I know about you. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I read about it, and what I read was burned in my head for like months. So I'm like, I don't need to see that. Like,
I don't know.
That's no. We're talking about
enlighten.
No. I had a couple drinks. I don't want to hear it.
No.
I'm on my way to a party as we speak. Like I'm up against it, bro.
They're like on some, like
train
babies bad.
Yeah, no.
Oh, God.
See, nope. You're blowing my buzz, bro.
And that's not even the most fucked up thing that happens.
That sounds fucked up, bro.
For me is, his star was starting to go somewhere because of Boy Meets World, and that's Ryder Strong, and it was Cabin Fever.
That was trash.
I forgot all about that. You know what? I think I just have a special place for that movie in my heart because I think in high school it was like my first scary movie I got to go to by myself with my friends. So it was good to us because we were all together and stuff.
No, it was good to y'all because y'all was free. That's how that was. It was trash then. You just didn't care because you was out the house and didn't have a parent around.
We was out the house. That's what I'm saying. Like, we were like, oh my God.
This is trash, but I don't care because.
But while you playing, I feel like that nostalgia pushes a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like that's why people swear up and down that they'll never be a better basketball player ever than Michael Jordan. I'm like, a lot of you have it tied to nostalgia and you're like Space Jam and stuff. You're not thinking about
Space Jam.
And no, for real, that's what it is. And I feel like the same thing for movies. Some people are like, oh, Queen of the Damned. And I'm like, if we real, that movie was not that great. If we're real,
it really wasn't. It wasn't that great.
It was serving looks, but was that movie really that bomb? No.
Yeah, exactly. Stan Helsing. That was more of a comedy. It knows it was a comedy. It's supposed to be a comedy. Dracula.
No, I'm saying that was a good movie.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that was. Yeah, if you're talking about horror film,
I kind of want to see it again. I want to see it tonight.
It might be on Netflix. I wouldn't doubt it.
Repossessed with Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, we're going there. Go Dracula and Loving.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta see that.
Yeah, we dogged out so many films. Now I'm thinking like there were a lot of.
There's too many films. Let's try this again next year. Same time, same place.
Oh yeah.
Like that dog.
You know what movie they Luke Goss is in it. He's the lead role in this Dracula Untold, and I actually enjoy that one.
That was just on TV.
Yeah, it's actually because it tells you like how he became it tells you how he became Dracula.
He did it to save his people.
He did it to save his people. And I'm like, oh, I like that spin that they have. Yeah, I like that spin that they had on it.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna have to watch that because I did.
Yeah, it was on FX.
Yeah, so that means they'll show it again tonight.
Probably, it might be on now. If you're run, you can catch it.
I'm gonna have to catch that on Amazon Prime or something.
Not sure.
Despite Katie Sackhoff being in it, I'd have to say Halloween Resurrection.
Like best or worst?
Worst. Not worst, but just not.
I didn't feel like it was that bad.
It's not that bad.
Rhymes?
No, that was H2O.
Yeah, let's put that on the list.
Yeah, H2O was really bad.
Other than Buster Surviving, that movie was trash.
Man, can we put movies like fucking Lake Placid up there? Like, what the fuck?
I'm not sure that was horror, but sure.
And the best thing about that, Betty White.
Oh my God, it was.
Betty White.
I would have said the credits, but Betty White's cool too.
Yeah.
San Andreas. I'm throwing that up there.
San Andreas.
That's not.
I'm counting these environmental disaster
horror movies.
That's the case. You did 2012. Was that it?
This is falling off the rails quick. These are not horror movies, people. Natural disaster movies, yes. I don't know if that's
disasters of movies.
Also, disasters wouldn't be horrific. Like all that shit could happen, and you'd be like, "This is not."
Yeah, but see, we're talking about supernatural killer dolls. Like the new Chucky fucking blows.
The one when it's tech involved, and
yeah, the newest one.
I just seen that one. I just seen that. Mark Hamill. He did the voice of Chucky.
And then you got Big Boy from Atlanta as the cop.
Yeah.
That movie was
yeah.
That movie was all the way garbage.
And the thing is, I was watching the original Child's Play earlier today, and was laughing because what's his name? Chris Masterson. Was that it? No. I can't think of his name because he plays the prince on The Princess Bride.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. But
it was funny because I'm looking at him and I'm just like, you fucker. You did my man Wesley wrong. But yeah, the original Chucky's fun. It just sitting there and then I'm like, am I actually trying to recite I still don't know how the words go.
Give me
the power, I beg of you.
Nope, let's not do that because I told my kids earlier they was trying to recite something. I was like, don't do that because the way it's been going.
I think
no, not Candyman. It was Beetlejuice. These motherfuckers trying to do Beetlejuice. I said, hey, don't do that because this motherfucker might really come the way this year been.
My favorite meme is talking about like me trying to sing along to the Japanese intro to my favorite anime. And then right beside it was like the demon I just summoned. And it's like absolutely right.
No, Jesus.
Play around too much.
Don't play with shit you don't know.
You're right. Right. Oh my God.
If you can't get a Google translator for it, it ain't meant for you to say
Google translator. Jeez.
It just ain't meant for you to do it.
Oh, the movie that had I wasn't a fan of Ghost Ship.
Had a great opening though.
That movie was fucking amazing.
The whole movie.
The whole movie was good. I love that movie.
Whole film though. Home film.
I love the whole movie.
Of course you do.
From beginning to end. Let's not talk Vegeta and Raphael. Keep going.
Okay, Mikey, with your dumb ass.
I am fun loving and people like me. I tell myself that every day.
You got to. Someone's got to drink the Kool-Aid. Why not yourself?
Right.
Whatever. Well, anywho, Ghost Shit was good.
I noticed he like
13 Ghosts was a fucking amazing movie.
It was.
Oh yeah, that's never.
I don't see it. It would.
There'll never be
Lube like and that Rod Digger.
What? Like, come on, Rod Digger making it. Let's get into that for.
Oh, she did make it.
Yeah,
I was so happy.
She made it before Buster. She was the original.
I was so happy.
She don't get no credit for being this the Rosa Parks of horror films.
Yeah, and still made it through all the way.
She made it through all the way
and spoke just like we were speaking about it. Like, I got to get the hell out of here with all of this. I'm not paying me for enough with all of this.
It was almost like I was like, did they just tell you to like just
be black?
You
like no lines.
Be black.
Be black.
Pretend you're watching a horror film in the theater. Don't go in there.
Yeah, 13
Turn around, he behind you.
13 Ghosts. House on Haunted Hill.
I was just about to bring that up, the one with Tay Diggs, because there were some scary moments to me visually, but as a whole, I'm like, I don't like this film.
I didn't really like that movie.
And then the ending was like, okay, so how y'all gonna get down?
Yes. I'm like, oh, y'all made a lot, but there is no way. So you mean to tell me how you have to go back through the way you came out
for family?
Full circle for
and everybody
you forgot the Raven incantation, and then you
go family. Everybody jumps. That's how they make it.
Oh my God.
We have come to the end of this crazy second full moon of the month episode. Yes, today is the second. This is considered the blue moon. I'm pretty sure CJ's mentioned this at some point.
It is her birthday too. Shout out.
It is her birthday.
Shout out CJ. Shout out, happy birthday.
Like for a blue moon.
Oh, there you go. Well, hell,
I feel like I'm walking in the club from
you showing off, huh?
Color contacts.
Step into the light.
Here we go. All right, there you go.
You just pulled the Green Lantern out. Just make sure the suit's not green or animated.
I'm going back to Wakanda purple. Screw that.
Yeah, the purple glow is good for
Wakanda.
you. I'm gonna stick with this green.
So, any shout out you want to do?
This remind me of The Wiz. You got to be seen in blue.
I really hate you so much.
The color is blue. Everybody start ripping off their shit, got on blue shit automatically out of nowhere. God. Like you motherfuckers had on 7 layers of clothes just in case.
I was living.
That's a bomb soundtrack, but when you actually watch that as an adult, you be like, God,
this shit don't make no sense. These niggas had on 60 pairs of clothes in the middle of the Wizard. In the middle of the Wiz, these niggas had on all these outfits.
And then I've always
nobody come bring me no bad news.
She was sitting on the toilet.
throne was a literal porcelain throne. They flushed her monkey ass shit.
Oh my God. It's a classic.
Oh, I love it.
It really is a classic, but
we got to look at it for what it was. She was sitting on the goddamn toilet talking about nobody bring her no bad news.
But the music, catchy.
He's on down the road.
I mean, when you have Michael and Diana,
that was it right there. That was the selling point.
The music is going to be on point.
What was that song about the knowledge? That was my shit. The Scarecrow song Michael was singing.
Man, you can't win. Michael was
You can't win. That song was a
fucking break even, and you can't get out of the game. I'm like, that was.
You can't get out of the game.
I'm like, you shouldn't be spitting that much knowledge.
Dog, that song was dropping gems back then. I was like, damn.
I'm like, look at what we dealing with now. And I'm like, damn, Mike.
Get out the game, huh? You ain't breaking even.
Been talking about this shit like Ben for years. I still think he killed him.
Slide some oil to me. Let me lubricate my mind.
Hold on. He was just like, my wife, she landed on me. And I looked at it. I'm like, okay.
That was my shit, man. Lubricate my jaw. I'm about to go watch that shit tonight.
Look, how can you not watch? Like I said,
my nigga just came out of nowhere. Slide some oil to me.
I feel like my in a world like that where everyone's black and musically talented.
Yeah, that's a beautiful world.
To the people, everybody's gonna come in like that. You know what I mean? Like you have.
My nigga came hard though. Then the line, I'm a mean old lion.
Oh my God, that was such a classic. But you really, I mean, even the costumes was something to look at. But
it was black excellence.
That's what it was. Scared me.
The crows was the shit though.
I was like,
the crows and the monkeys on the motorcycle, the flying monkeys.
Like, Michael, get out of there, dude.
I'm like, those were some ugly bikers, man. When you seen that leader up close, I'm like, you are ugly.
I can appreciate that though, because looking at stuff like that back then, and even like the Neverending Story, I'm just so here for the puppetry and the costumes and the time that took, because everything wasn't so CGI'd out, and it's like we had.
And that was back in the 70s when they made the wig.
Okay, and your prosthetics. I mean, like if you're gonna have the camera in our face, we gotta be.
On point.
Michael didn't look like Michael at some points in that movie.
I was like,
who was this big nose? Little did you know that big nose was.
When Diana helped him down and they got to walk, and my man bust out a full mic spin. I'm like,
flat out.
He just had atrophy in his legs. That's all. He just had atrophy.
He was like, for family.
When he was singing, when he was up there, because that must say, you can't win.
Dog.
They spinning him around. I'm like,
Michael was on the cross for real in that movie. But he was singing the hell out of that song, though.
He knew this was it for him. He was like,
he started pulling words out of his chest and was like,
not out of his chest.
Yeah. Why don't you read us one of those funny sayings? He's like, he'll just bust out a saying. They just laugh at him.
Well, family means The Rock can jump off a building anytime he wants.
Stop it. Rewatch it. That's not what he said. Is that what he said?
That's what he said. He just said it in a different language.
He did different language. Well, this is our shout out section. This is our shout out segment. We get ready to shut down.
We always do that. We try to leave for like 2 hours and then.
Welcome to the triangle. We're considered like a 2-hour show. We just started.
Oh.
We just started.
I didn't know.
We can
you
segment
can't
it,
win.
but I don't want to do that.
And you can't get out of the game.
Might be hell on editing, but we'll figure it out.
To me.
We'll do better. I'm telling you, you'll have a better editing life if we can get it down to like under 45 minutes or at. Oh my God, you're gonna love it.
Then you're talking about the other show I host, which is Nerds on Ice. So
see, and then you just push through them edits.
You know what else? Don't nobody go bring me no bad news.
Let's do the shout outs. Brady, go ahead.
Not only like, comment, subscribe to all of Blerd's Eyeviews. Instagram page, the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, and then you can stalk us all individually too. But go to the Triangle and you can look at us on Facebook and YouTube and IG for our dumb shit. We can give you the news, we can give you sex talk, we can give you whatever the fuck we want to talk about too.
The Blue Light Special.
The Blue Light Special. That costs extra.
I'm feeling blue.
What you got, D? I'm sorry. What you got? Chet Deuster House. Just Chet Deuster House.
And I recently did like my.
You got to bust out the Fred G.
The Fred G.
And also anybody that wanted to know, they're listening, whether you're male or female, because I don't know your business, but Skims shapewear is not all that. Kim Kardashian just came out with like a shapewear line or whatever. And I really feel like it's for bitches who already paid for a shape. So don't invest in it. You good. Just either go to the gym or do some other shit, but it ain't it. Overpriced.
Because you can't win.
You can't win.
See, it works with everything.
It does.
For me, I just want to say what shit is coming up on its end of the first season tomorrow. We're going to be live. This guy won't be here, but somebody else will be. We have two spectacular guests. I don't want to put their names out there yet because I want it to be a complete surprise. But one doesn't like cancer, and the other is the tribal food chief. And he has a voice
that
like Chris from the Gods. So, ladies, if you're trying to get that WAP,
listen to us tomorrow
because there's gonna be some serious furniture moving in this motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Mr. Loax Johnson.
Yeah, his name rhymes with IHOP. Anywho, where was I?
I hate y'all.
I'm drunk.
No,
I got a party to go to.
Look, it looks like he's staring off in the.
I am, but I have sunglasses on, so you can really kind of tell. Anywho, where was I? Oh, Smoking Reviews is coming. Don't forget the Triangle. Always watch Blerd's Eyeview on Saturday.
Always.
And then you got What the Shit on Sundays, but we're going to be taking a 2 to 3 week break because we're going to party for a graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Me, Chris, and Courtney are getting some little papers that said we did some shit for a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So look out for that because we might be live for that. You never know.
Oh, nice.
And as always, you can't win and you can't get out of the game.
And this is your host, Chris Fury.
Yeah. I've been trying to do that name for
check me out here on Blerd's Eyeview live every Saturday. Check out the Facebook page, the YouTube page, the Instagram page, the Twitter, and the LinkedIn, all under the same name, Blerd's Eyeview. Check me out also on Wednesdays for Nerds on Ice, and live here Friday nights for the Cosmic Disasters Crew. So, and that's under Circle of Nerds. So check us out
at your local bakery, baking them cakes.
And Michael's
local bakery,
Michael's Bakery baking them cakes. Also at Leroy's.
I'm coming for your job, Wayne Brady. I'm coming for your job, Wayne Brady.
My guy got 60 jobs. I'm not even gonna lie to you. My guy be a butcher.
I ain't getting paid for none of them yet.
Butcher on Tuesday.
Not yet, because you can't pay.
Yeah, like my man, like Chet Deucer House just said. What can't we do?
We can't win and we can't get out. Oh, that one, not that one.
That's the one.
Oh, okay. All right. There were so many.
So until next time.
No bad news.
Until next time.
You sound like Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong, he does sound like Louis Armstrong.
Don't nobody bring me no bad news. Cha-cha-cha-cha.
Not a cha-cha-cha-cha.
Until next time with Chris Fury, Brandy Blocker, and Darius DC Chambers. We will see you next time.
Whoa, hold on, wait.
Oh, I didn't forget. I did not forget.
Sorry,
I was going there.
Sorry.
So until next time.
You be like, till next time, and he'd be like, all right, don't bust that nut yet. Go.
Yeah, right. Until next time, you can't do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for someone around you. Entertain yourself and others. Educate yourself and others. And most of all, empower yourself and others. And until then, Chris Fury and the crew, Blerd's Eyeview, out.
And don't forget, for family.
Oh my God.
I will never get tired of someone just yelling out for family now.
Make sure to listen to Blerd's Eyeview with your host Chris G on any of your favorite outlets, including Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to visit our website at blackgamuttentertainment.com and get the latest on news on our podcast, giveaways, and contests. That's Black Gamut Entertainment, GAMUT Entertainment.com. And thank you for listening.